Why it sucks to be born as a dolphin. Why people think dolphins have the perfect life. The truth behind the myth. If you ask the average person to imagine the happiest animal on Earth, chances are dolphins would rank near the very top of the list. People see them leaping out of turquoise waves, glittering under the sun, always with what looks like a permanent smile carved into their sleek faces. Children's books, cartoons, movies, aquariums, even corporate logos. Dolphins are everywhere, and almost always presented as symbols of joy, freedom, and intelligence. They are the supposed surfers of the sea, living in harmony with the ocean, always playful, always happy. The myth of the carefree dolphin is powerful because it combines two of humanity's deepest fascinations, the ocean and the idea of happiness without struggle. In a way, dolphins represent what many of us secretly wish we had, an existence away from bills, jobs, traffic, wars, and politics. Just a life of endless swimming under the sun, diving into the cool, dark water, eating fish whenever you want, and playing with your podmates. To us, dolphins embody freedom. Hollywood has only strengthened this view. From Flipper to The Day of the Dolphin to countless documentaries that carefully film dolphins doing spectacular flips, humans have been conditioned to see these animals as the smiling, benevolent clowns of the ocean. We want them to be carefree, and so we project that fantasy onto them. But the truth is very different. Behind the curved jawline that resembles a grin, behind the sleek dives and leaps, behind the playful moments caught on camera, lies a much harsher reality. Dolphins are wild animals, subject to the same unforgiving rules of nature as any other creature. They face hunger, disease, predators, accidents, and heartbreak. They don't have permanent food supplies, permanent shelter, or permanent safety. They live in a world where one bad decision or one unlucky encounter with humans can mean suffering or death. And for dolphins, perhaps more than most animals, the reality of life clashes violently with the fantasy humans have built around them. The smile that isn't a smile. One of the biggest reasons people assume dolphins are always happy is their face. That upturned curve of their jaw gives the illusion of a permanent grin. We love to anthropomorphize animals, and the dolphin's face makes it irresistible. Humans see a smile, and therefore we assume joy. But the dolphin's smile is not an expression at all. It's an accident of anatomy, no different from the fixed stare of a shark or the beak of a parrot. In reality, dolphins experience stress, fear, grief, and pain. Captive dolphins have been observed floating motionless in pools for hours, unresponsive after losing a calf or being separated from their group. Marine biologists who spend years with wild pods can recount heartbreaking tales of mothers pushing dead infants through the water for days, unable to let go. These are not carefree, happy-go-lucky creatures. They are sensitive beings navigating a dangerous and often cruel existence. Freedom doesn't mean safety. People envy dolphins because they seem free. No 9-to-5 jobs, no taxes, no cities, just endless blue horizons. But freedom in the wild comes at a cost. You are your own provider, your own protector, your own doctor. Dolphins can't take a sick day. They can't pop into a grocery store if fish are scarce. They can't build a shelter to hide from predators or storms. Every day is a gamble of energy. Spend too much hunting and you may starve. Hunt too little and you weaken, making yourself easy prey. The ocean, vast and sparkling as it may appear to us, is also an unforgiving desert of salt water. Food is patchy, storms roll in without warning. And unlike humans, dolphins can never stop swimming. Their bodies require motion to breathe, to stay buoyant, and to avoid drowning in their own home. Imagine a life where stopping to rest is impossible. The harshest opponent, humans, and then there's us. If dolphins lived only with natural dangers, their lives would still be hard, but perhaps fair. Predators, disease, hunger. These are the rules of the wild. But humans have rewritten the rules in ways that dolphins cannot adapt to fast enough. Fishing nets scoop up entire pods. Noise pollution from shipping lanes and military sonar deafens them, leaving them unable to communicate or hunt effectively. Climate change shifts prey populations farther and farther away. And for many dolphins, captivity, life in a tank for human entertainment, is the ultimate betrayal of their supposed freedom. Ironically, the same animals that humans idolize as symbols of joy are also among the most exploited. We love them so much that we keep them in small pools, force them to perform tricks, and convince ourselves they are smiling while doing it. Why this book exists. So why write an entire book about why it sucks to be a dolphin? Because the gap between the myth and the reality is enormous, and it matters. It matters for dolphins, because our misconceptions directly fuel the industries that exploit them. And it matters for us because the way we romanticize dolphins reveals how desperately we cling to the illusion of an easy, struggle-free existence. The truth is, life as a dolphin is hard. Beautiful, yes. Fascinating, yes. But easy, happy, carefree, not even close. By peeling back the curtain and examining the struggles dolphins face, hunger, predators, disease, human exploitation, we can begin to understand them not as smiling mascots, but as fellow creatures enduring the same harsh world of survival that all life must navigate. This is not a story meant to make you hate dolphins. Quite the opposite. It is meant to make you respect them more by seeing the truth. Respect, after all, is far more powerful than romantic illusion. That is why this book begins here, with the myth of the perfect dolphin life. A myth created by us, sustained by us, and dangerous both to dolphins and to our own understanding of the natural world. The chapters ahead will strip away the fantasy and reveal the reality, that being born as a dolphin is not a dream, but a constant struggle to survive. Segment 1. The Myth versus Reality. To many people, dolphins are perfect. They're smart, social, and appear to exist in a world of endless fun. Films and social media show them playing, surfing waves, and leaping gracefully above the surface. The picture is beautiful, but it's deceptive. The reality is far more complex and far harsher. Dolphins face predators like sharks and orcas from the moment they're born. They must hunt constantly, fight disease, navigate a changing environment, and adapt to human interference. Every day is a struggle, and their smiles hide a life of relentless effort. Even the seemingly carefree leaps above the water aren't just play. They are necessary for survival. Dolphins must surface for air, scout for predators, communicate with pod members, and maintain physical fitness. Every movement is purposeful. Every action is survival, the illusion of perfection. Humans often project our fantasies onto dolphins. We see grace, intelligence, and apparent joy, and assume that life must be easy. The term smiling dolphins is literally a myth. Their mouths naturally curve upwards, giving the illusion of happiness. But while we admire their leaps and flips, we rarely consider the dangers lurking beneath the waves, the exhaustion behind every movement, and the relentless vigilance that defines their daily life. Early life challenges. Life begins with risk. A newborn dolphin, just hours old, must swim immediately to the surface to take its first breath. Failure means instant death. The calf must quickly learn to coordinate its movements, swim alongside its mother, and begin to develop the strength needed to survive in a predator-filled ocean. Predators don't wait. Sharks and orcas target the weak, the slow, or the inexperienced. For a young dolphin, every moment is a test. The first days, weeks, and months of life are filled with struggle before it even begins to understand hunting or social dynamics. Survival in a dangerous world. Even after the first breath, survival is far from guaranteed. Dolphins face constant threats, natural predators, disease, environmental hazards, and human interference. A misstep or miscalculation can be fatal. Unlike terrestrial mammals, dolphins can't hide or burrow. Their survival depends on alertness, coordination, and the ability to communicate and cooperate with the pod. Social bonds are life-saving, and every pod member plays a critical role. Environmental challenges. The ocean itself is a harsh and unpredictable environment. Storms, strong currents, and waves can separate calves from their mothers or wash them into danger. Shallow reefs may offer food, but also conceal predators. Humans add another layer of danger. Boats, fishing nets, oil spills, and noise pollution disrupt their world. A dolphin must constantly navigate this changing environment. Survival isn't just instinct, it's constant vigilance, physical effort, and adaptability. Predators, predation, and social defense. Predators shape the very behavior of dolphins. They develop strategies to survive, swimming in pods for protection, coordinating evasive maneuvers, and teaching calves the nuances of escape. But no strategy is perfect. Even experienced adults can fall victim. The risk of predation never disappears, and this persistent threat defines every aspect of dolphin life from birth onward. Cognition and awareness. Dolphins are among the most intelligent animals on the planet. This intelligence allows them to hunt cooperatively, learn from each other, and navigate their environment with incredible skill. But awareness is a double-edged sword. Their intelligence allows them to perceive threats, anticipate dangers, and recognize when conditions are unfavorable. But it also magnifies stress, grief, and frustration. They know when danger is present, yet cannot always escape it. Social complexity and early lessons. From birth, calves are immersed in a complex social structure. They learn to communicate, hunt, and navigate social hierarchies. A calf's survival depends not just on strength, but on its ability to understand social cues and cooperate. Every interaction is a lesson in survival. Pods operate as tight-knit families, teaching young dolphins how to avoid predators, find food, and maintain social bonds. A failure to learn any of these skills can mean death. Segment 2. Danger from birth. Life for a dolphin begins in one of the harshest classrooms imaginable, the open ocean. From the very first moment of birth, danger surrounds them. A newborn dolphin must reach the surface within minutes to take its first breath. Any delay can be fatal, and the ocean is not forgiving to mistakes. Imagine being born into a world where every second could determine whether you live or die. That's exactly what a dolphin experiences in its earliest hours. Mothers push their calves to the surface, nudging and guiding, constantly vigilant for threats. Yet even with their mother's protection, mortality rates are high. Many calves never survive the first year of life. The dangers of birth are just the beginning. Predators are everywhere. Sharks, particularly tiger sharks and bull sharks, prey on young or weak dolphins. Orcas, known as killer whales, hunt with precision, targeting the slowest members of a pod. The ocean may seem vast and open, but it's filled with unseen threats. Dolphins are born with instincts to evade predators, but instinct alone is not enough. A calf must learn to move in synchrony with its mother, avoid dangerous areas, and respond to subtle cues from the pod. Every misstep could be deadly. Mother dolphins play a critical role in survival. They teach their calves not only how to swim, but also how to sense danger. They communicate with clicks and whistles, guiding the young through the complexities of the ocean environment. Each interaction is a survival lesson. Calves are naturally curious, but curiosity can be deadly. Investigating unfamiliar shapes, strange noises, or boats can put them directly in the path of predators or humans. Awareness must be constant, even for the youngest dolphins, early social learning and survival skills. From their first hours, dolphins are immersed in a social structure that defines their survival. Calves learn by watching older members, observing hunting techniques, navigating pod hierarchies, and mimicking behaviors. Social learning is essential because a lone dolphin rarely survives for long. Pods function as both family and protection. A well-coordinated pod can deter predators and teach the young how to hunt efficiently. Calves must understand their place in the social network, which can be both supportive and competitive. Failing to grasp these lessons can be fatal. Every interaction teaches something vital: how to communicate danger, locate food, or cooperate during hunts. Life is a continuous classroom of survival, and every lesson learned or missed can mean life or death. The ocean teaches harsh lessons early. Calves that are slower, weaker, or less aware are often the first to fall prey. Even with intelligence and social support, survival is never guaranteed. The earliest stages of life are a test of physical strength, cognitive ability, and social understanding. The role of predators in shaping behavior. Predators shape the very way dolphins move, communicate, and interact. Pods develop strategies to increase survival, swimming in protective formations, warning each other with vocalizations, and teaching calves to anticipate danger. These behaviors are ingrained from a young age. Even experienced adults can fall victim to predation, which means vigilance never ends. The threat is constant, influencing hunting patterns, migration routes, and social structures. Awareness and intelligence help, but the danger is ever present. Survival is an unending balance of risk, action, and cooperation. From birth, dolphins learn to assess risk and make split-second decisions. The ocean is not a playground, it's a battlefield, and every swim carries the possibility of injury or death. Mother dolphins, pods, and individual calves are all engaged in a life-or-death negotiation every single day. Segment 3, Hunger and Survival. Even after surviving the dangers of birth, dolphins face another relentless challenge: hunger. Food is never guaranteed. Schools of fish move unpredictably. Ocean currents shift. Human activity has depleted many prey populations. A single failed hunt can leave a dolphin weak, slow, and vulnerable. Hunting requires intelligence, precision, and teamwork. Dolphins use echolocation to locate prey, strategize with pod members, and execute complex hunting techniques. Some even create mud rings to trap fish or herd them toward shallow areas. Every hunt demands physical effort, coordination, and split-second decisions. For calves, learning to hunt is a critical survival skill. They practice by observing adults, imitating their techniques, and testing their own abilities. Hunger drives learning, but it also adds pressure. A young dolphin must quickly master hunting strategies or risk malnutrition and weakness, environmental and human-related challenges. Human activity has made feeding even more difficult. Overfishing reduces prey availability. Nets, trawlers, and boats disrupt hunting grounds. Pollution poisons the waters, affecting the health of both dolphins and their prey. Dolphins must constantly adapt, finding new hunting grounds, developing innovative strategies, and learning from older pod members. But every adaptation comes with risks. Approaching humans may offer an easy meal, but it also exposes them to injury, entanglement, or even death. The cycle of hunger and hunting never ends. Even when food is abundant, dolphins expend vast amounts of energy chasing, capturing, and consuming prey. Exhaustion is inevitable, yet the struggle continues daily. Hunger is both a physical and mental burden, driving every action and decision in their lives. The psychological toll of constant survival. The relentless need for food, combined with predator awareness, environmental hazards, and social pressures, places enormous stress on dolphins. Young calves must learn to navigate this complex world while staying close to their mothers and integrating into the pod. Every day is a test of endurance, intelligence, and adaptability. Playful behaviors, leaps, and social interaction are intertwined with survival. They are not purely for fun. They serve to build skills, maintain fitness, and manage stress. In the dolphin world, survival is a 24/7 occupation, and every day brings new challenges. Segment 4. Noise pollution. The ocean may seem tranquil, but for dolphins it is becoming an increasingly hostile place. Human activity has introduced an invisible, yet pervasive threat: noise pollution. Ships, sonar, speedboats, and offshore drilling machines have turned the ocean into a cacophony of sound that dolphins cannot escape. Dolphins rely heavily on sound for almost every aspect of life. Their clicks, whistles, and pulses allow them to communicate, navigate, locate prey, and avoid predators. Imagine trying to have a conversation, find food, or watch for danger while thousands of engines roar around you nonstop. That is the reality for dolphins living near human activity. Noise pollution disrupts every layer of dolphin life. Hunting becomes less effective because echolocation signals are drowned out. Social communication breaks down, causing confusion and isolation within the pod. Even mating behaviors can be affected because vocalizations are masked by constant background noise. Every decibel from human activity carries a cost, sometimes subtle, sometimes deadly. Echolocation and communication disruption. Dolphins use echolocation to perceive their world. They emit clicks and listen to the echoes bouncing off objects, prey, and obstacles. This is how they see underwater in complete darkness. But loud noises from ships or sonar interfere with echolocation, creating blind spots in their perception. A pod hunting near a busy shipping lane may find prey more difficult to locate. Calves, still learning to use echolocation effectively, may become disoriented, separated from the pod, or even collide with obstacles. The ocean, once a vast playground, becomes a dangerous, unpredictable space. Communication is equally disrupted. Dolphins rely on whistles to coordinate hunts, warn each other of predators, and maintain social bonds. Noise pollution masks these critical signals. Pods may struggle to keep formation, calves may get lost, and social structures can weaken under constant auditory stress. A case study, dolphins near shipping lanes. Studies of dolphins living near shipping lanes reveal the toll of noise pollution. These dolphins often exhibit signs of stress, increased heart rates, altered swimming patterns, and even avoidance of their traditional hunting grounds. A mother dolphin guiding her calf may have to expend extra energy navigating around the noise, teaching the young how to cope with a world that has become louder and more dangerous. Calves may struggle to keep up, increasing vulnerability to predators and reducing feeding efficiency. The constant din doesn't just affect hunting and communication, it affects overall health. Chronic stress weakens the immune system, leaving dolphins more susceptible to disease. Energy that should go toward growth, social learning, or reproduction is instead diverted to coping with the relentless noise. For a species already under pressure from predators and environmental challenges, this is an additional burden they can't escape. Long-term effects on social structure. Noise pollution can disrupt pod cohesion over time. When vocalizations are masked, calves may become separated from mothers or peers. Juveniles may fail to learn critical hunting or communication skills, which has lasting impacts on survival and reproductive success. Pods are built on social cooperation. Every individual relies on the others for warning signals, coordinated hunting, and protection from predators. When noise interferes with these bonds, the very foundation of dolphin society begins to weaken. Isolation, stress, and inefficiency become the new normal. Pods adapt where they can. Some dolphins attempt to increase the volume of their calls, switch frequencies, or change hunting times to avoid human activity. But adaptation has limits. Energy is finite, and constantly compensating for noise pollution drains both physical and mental resources. Psychological and emotional impacts. The impact of noise pollution is not only physical, but psychological. Dolphins are intelligent, emotionally aware creatures. They experience stress, frustration, and fear. A pod constantly navigating noisy waters may exhibit signs of heightened anxiety, aggression, or social tension. Calves, growing up in this environment, inherit a world of uncertainty. They may become more cautious, less playful, or more easily startled. Play, which is essential for learning hunting skills and social interaction, may decline, affecting development and long-term survival. Noise pollution and hunting efficiency. Hunting efficiency drops dramatically in noisy environments. Prey may scatter in response to boat engines. Dolphins struggle to echolocate effectively, and pod coordination suffers. A hunt that should take minutes may take hours. Energy expenditure increases, while the probability of a successful catch decreases. For juveniles and mothers, the cost is even higher. Each unsuccessful hunt reduces calories available for growth, nursing, or protecting calves, compounding the stress of survival. In effect, noise pollution magnifies every other challenge dolphins face. Predators, hunger, social learning, and environmental hazards all become harder to navigate. What once was a manageable balance of risk and reward has become a constant, exhausting struggle. Cumulative impact, survival under pressure. The cumulative impact of noise pollution cannot be understated. Chronic stress, disrupted hunting, fragmented social bonds, and impaired communication all converge to make survival harder. Even intelligent, adaptable dolphins struggle to cope. They must expend extra energy, develop new strategies, and constantly navigate a world that has become louder and less forgiving. Every day, the ocean grows more hostile, and every moment demands vigilance, energy, and resilience. Playful leaps and joyful clicks now exist alongside stress, disorientation, and uncertainty. Noise pollution is invisible, but its effects are tangible and devastating. For dolphins, life has become not just a challenge of predators and hunger, but a battle against an ever louder world. Ducks' human responsibility and awareness. As humans, we rarely think about the sounds we introduce into the ocean. Yet our activity has transformed habitats that were once silent and safe into noisy, stressful environments. The very intelligence that makes dolphins remarkable also makes them acutely aware of these changes, and the stress is real, measurable, and persistent. Every ship, every sonar pulse, every boat engine adds pressure to a life already filled with risk. Awareness is the first step toward mitigation. If humans want dolphins to thrive, reducing noise pollution is essential. Quiet oceans are not a luxury, they are a necessity for survival. Dolphins rely on sound for navigation, hunting, and communication. Noise pollution from humans disrupts echolocation, social bonds, hunting efficiency, and emotional well-being. Chronic exposure increases stress, reduces survival chances, and impacts pod cohesion. Adaptation is limited. Energy and intelligence are spent compensating for human-caused noise. Quiet oceans are critical for dolphin survival. Segment 5, Family Bonds and Heartbreak. Dolphins are among the most socially complex animals on the planet. Unlike many other species, their survival depends not just on physical ability, but on strong, lasting social bonds. From birth, dolphins are embedded in family groups known as pods, where cooperation, communication, and loyalty are critical for survival. These bonds are remarkable and yet fragile. Every relationship carries the weight of life and death. Separation, loss, or disruption can leave emotional scars that persist for months, even years. The structure of dolphin families. Dolphin pods are structured communities, often consisting of mothers, calves, siblings, and extended relatives. Each member has a role: protecting the young, coordinating hunts, alerting the pod to danger, or teaching social and survival skills. Calves learn critical lessons through observation and interaction. They mimic adults' hunting techniques, learn social cues, and build bonds that will define their ability to survive. In a pod, even a small calf contributes to the social network by learning, observing, and participating in group activities. The family structure is as vital as the ocean itself for a dolphin's survival. Social bonds also extend beyond immediate family. Pods interact with neighboring pods, sometimes forming alliances or temporary cooperative groups to hunt or avoid predators. These relationships are dynamic, complex, and crucial for maintaining survival in a constantly changing ocean environment. The depth of maternal bonds. The bond between a mother and her calf is extraordinary. Mothers invest enormous time and energy into raising their young. From teaching the calf how to breathe, swim, and hunt, to protecting it from predators, the mother's attention is constant. This bond is not only physical but emotional. Mothers display care, affection, and even grief when separated from or losing their calves. Studies have shown that mothers will carry dead calves for days or even weeks, demonstrating profound emotional attachment and mourning. Calves, in turn, form strong attachments to their mothers. They depend on maternal guidance to navigate the dangerous world of the ocean. Separation from the mother, even temporarily, can cause stress, disorientation, and reduced learning opportunities. Emotional trauma in calves can affect their hunting skills, social integration, and long-term survival. Weighing the pain of loss. Death and loss are part of life for dolphins, just as they are for humans. Pods experience grief when members die, particularly calves or key adults. The loss of a calf is especially devastating for the mother. She not only loses her child, but also the future continuation of her lineage, the one she has invested months or years of care into. Grieving behaviors are complex. Pods may linger near the deceased, vocalize more frequently, or adjust their swimming patterns to accommodate loss. Emotional responses to death indicate a level of self-awareness and attachment that many animals do not exhibit. The ocean is full of life, but it is also full of heartbreak. The emotional pain of loss is compounded by survival pressures. A grieving mother must continue feeding, protecting herself and other young, and remaining vigilant against predators. Emotion and survival collide in a constant balancing act that defines dolphin existence. Calves and social learning amidst loss. For calves, learning occurs alongside the experience of social bonds and potential loss. They must navigate the emotional dynamics of the pod while mastering hunting skills, communication, and social hierarchies. If a calf loses a mother or a key adult, the impact is significant. They may struggle to learn hunting techniques, fail to form bonds with peers, or become more vulnerable to predators. Survival is not just a matter of physical ability, it is also shaped by emotional and social experiences from a very young age. The emotional intelligence of dolphins allows them to respond to loss in complex ways. They comfort each other, modify behavior, and sometimes carry on routines in unusual patterns. Observers have reported pods displaying collective mourning behaviors, adjusting hunting, and even vocalizing differently in the presence of grief. The complexity of dolphin emotions. Dolphins experience a wide range of emotions, from joy and playfulness to stress and grief. Social bonds amplify both pleasure and pain. Playful interactions are not just recreation, they are essential for learning coordination, building trust, and establishing social hierarchies. However, the same bonds that create joy also expose dolphins to emotional suffering. Losing a pod member, being separated, or witnessing death can have profound and lasting effects. Emotional resilience is constantly tested, and the stakes are high because these emotions influence survival behaviors. Human impact on family bonds. Human activity further complicates the fragile social world of dolphins. Boats, nets, and noise pollution can separate calves from their mothers or disrupt pod cohesion. A pod's natural routines, hunting, resting, and socializing, can be interrupted, creating stress, confusion, and even fatalities. The disruption of family bonds by human interference adds another layer of danger to an already challenging existence. Dolphins must constantly adapt to threats from both the natural environment and human influence. The ocean is no longer just a place of natural risk. It is a landscape of compounded challenges, coping mechanisms, and resilience. Despite these challenges, dolphins exhibit remarkable resilience. They adapt their behavior, find new social connections, and maintain pods even after loss or disruption. Playful behavior, hunting strategies, and vocal communication all continue as part of coping mechanisms. Resilience is critical for survival. Emotional intelligence allows dolphins to rebuild bonds, continue learning, and maintain the strength of the pod. But this resilience comes at a cost. Constant energy, vigilance, and emotional management are required every day, from birth to adulthood. The lifelong importance of family. The importance of family bonds extends throughout a dolphin's life. Strong social structures increase survival chances, enhance hunting success, and provide protection against predators. Conversely, weakened bonds, isolation, or loss can dramatically reduce survival probabilities. Dolphins are not solitary creatures. Their lives are intertwined with the lives of others, and each relationship carries weight. Every pod member contributes to the collective intelligence, coordination, and resilience of the group. Family is life itself for dolphins, both a source of strength and vulnerability. Dolphins live in highly social pods. Survival depends on strong family and social bonds. Maternal care is intensive and emotionally significant. Mothers teach calves survival skills. Loss of calves or pod members causes grief, stress, and impacts survival. Calves learn through social interactions, and disruptions affect hunting, communication, and growth. Human interference amplifies challenges, separating pods or causing additional stress. Despite hardship, dolphins show resilience, maintaining social bonds, adapting behavior, and surviving emotional and physical pressures. Segment 6. The Endless Swim. For dolphins, life is a never-ending journey. From the moment they are born, they are on the move. Unlike land mammals, dolphins cannot rest in one place. They must swim constantly, hunt continuously, and maintain awareness of predators and environmental hazards. The ocean is vast, but for dolphins, it is also relentless. Currents, waves, temperature shifts, and the movements of prey dictate their paths. Every day requires endurance, precision, and strategy. The life of a dolphin is, quite literally, an endless swim, the need for constant movement. Dolphins are voluntary breathers, which means they must consciously come to the surface to inhale air. They cannot sleep without partially remaining alert, and they cannot rest in one spot for long. Stopping, even for a moment, can be dangerous. Predators like sharks and orcas are always nearby, and currents can separate young calves from their mothers. This necessity for constant movement shapes every aspect of dolphin behavior. Hunting, social interaction, mating, and navigation are all intertwined with the need to keep moving. Rest, if it exists, comes in short bursts of sleep called unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, where one half of the brain sleeps while the other remains active to monitor the environment. Even rest is a survival tactic. Dolphins cannot afford full unconsciousness. They must balance energy conservation with constant vigilance, creating a life rhythm that humans can scarcely imagine. Migration and long-distance travel. Many dolphin species are migratory. They follow schools of fish, seasonal currents, or breeding grounds across hundreds, sometimes thousands of kilometers. This migration is not optional. It is essential for survival. The ocean is dynamic. Prey moves, water temperatures change, and human activity can alter traditional migration routes. Dolphins must adapt quickly, sometimes swimming long distances to find food or safe breeding areas. For calves, learning to navigate these journeys alongside their mothers is critical. The endless swim is a test of endurance, navigation, and adaptability from the very beginning of life. Migration is physically taxing. Dolphins expend significant energy swimming continuously, maintaining pod cohesion and avoiding predators. They cannot afford to stop or slow for long. Every moment counts. Yet this constant exertion is necessary to access sufficient food, socialize, and reproduce. Survival is inseparable from movement. Energy demands and hunting on the move. The endless swim increases energy demands. Dolphins must feed regularly, often while on the move. Hunting techniques must be coordinated with movement patterns. Pods develop strategies that allow them to capture prey efficiently while traveling long distances. Calves must master hunting while swimming continuously, balancing oxygen intake, energy expenditure, and the need to stay with the pod. Mistakes can be fatal. An exhausted calf may fall behind, become disoriented, or fail to capture enough food to survive. Energy management is critical in this lifestyle of relentless motion. Even minor interruptions, like human interference or environmental hazards, can disrupt this delicate balance. A pod navigating through a noisy shipping lane may lose synchronization, expend extra energy avoiding obstacles, or miss feeding opportunities. Every challenge compounds the inherent demands of continuous movement. The environmental challenges of continuous movement. The ocean is never predictable. Storms, strong currents, temperature shifts, and debris all complicate the endless swim. Dolphins must constantly adjust their swimming patterns, change depth, and sometimes take long detours to avoid danger. Pollution is another hidden hazard. Plastics, nets, and chemical runoff disrupt feeding and navigation. Dolphins cannot pause or rest without risking exposure to these dangers. They must swim intelligently, choosing routes that maximize survival chances while conserving energy. Calves are particularly vulnerable during these challenges. Their developing bodies require more frequent breaks and careful guidance. Mothers must constantly monitor their young, nudging them through difficult currents, teaching them safe routes and correcting errors. The endless swim is not just a physical challenge, it is a continuous learning process for survival. Social dynamics. During the swim, social bonds are crucial during the endless swim. Dolphins rely on pod coordination to avoid predators, maintain feeding efficiency, and navigate long distances. Vocalizations, synchronized movements, and mutual protection are all part of a sophisticated social system. Calves learn to read subtle cues from adults, adjust their pace, and communicate needs. This learning is essential. Falling behind, missing a cue, or failing to understand the pod's social signals can have deadly consequences. Every moment of motion carries both opportunity and risk. Social learning is a constant process. Calves observe adults navigating hazards, locating prey, and interacting socially. Mistakes are costly, but every lesson learned enhances survival probability. The endless swim is a rhythm of observation, adaptation, and coordination. Human interference and disruption. Humans have added new pressures to the endless swim. Boats, nets, sonar, and shipping traffic disrupt movement patterns, forcing dolphins to alter their routes or expend extra energy to avoid harm. Noise pollution interferes with echolocation and communication, making navigation and hunting more difficult. For pods migrating long distances, these disruptions can mean missed feeding opportunities, separation of calves from mothers, or increased exposure to predators. The endless swim, already a physically and mentally demanding life, is now made even more challenging by human activity. The constant need to adapt to human presence highlights the resilience and intelligence of dolphins. Yet even with remarkable adaptability, the pressures are relentless. Every mile swum is both a necessity and a struggle, requiring endurance, focus, and cooperation. The physical and mental toll. The endless swim is exhausting, both physically and mentally. Dolphins expend energy continuously, monitor for predators, hunt efficiently, and maintain social bonds, all without pause. Even during rest periods, one half of the brain remains alert. Sleep is partial and intermittent, never complete. Calves learn to manage this from birth. Their endurance, coordination, and mental acuity must develop quickly. Failure to maintain pace, coordinate with the pod, or respond to hazards can have immediate consequences. The combination of constant movement, environmental hazards, predators, hunger, and social pressure creates a life of relentless endurance. Dolphins are built for it, but it is not easy. Every day requires effort, intelligence, and vigilance. The endless swim is survival strategy. The endless swim is more than a necessity. It is a survival strategy. Movement allows dolphins to access food, avoid predators, maintain social bonds, and navigate a constantly changing environment. Their bodies, brains, and social structures have evolved to support this relentless lifestyle. Yet this strategy comes with trade-offs. Energy expenditure is high, stress is constant, mistakes are costly. The endless swim is both a marvel of adaptation and a testament to the harsh realities of life in the ocean. Life in motion is life in survival. For dolphins, the ocean is both a home and a battlefield. Every swim, every hunt, every breath is part of a continuous struggle to survive, thrive, and pass on their genes to the next generation. The endless swim defines their existence, shaping everything from behavior to emotional bonds. Dolphins must swim constantly due to voluntary breathing and predator avoidance. Migration and hunting require energy, coordination, and endurance. Environmental challenges and human interference increase the difficulty of continuous movement. Social bonds and coordination are critical during the endless swim. The physical and mental demands are immense, requiring constant vigilance and adaptability. The endless swim is a defining characteristic of dolphin life, highlighting resilience, intelligence, and survival. Segment 7. Adapt or die. Dolphins are survivors, But survival often requires adaptation. The ocean is changing faster than ever. Climate shifts, overfishing, pollution, and human activity are transforming habitats. Dolphins must adapt or face the consequences. Adaptation is their key to survival, but it comes with risks. In some areas, dolphins are finding ways to live closer to humans. Urban dolphins navigate busy ports, bays, and coastal cities. They may feed near fishing boats, interact with people, and explore waterways that were once remote. But adaptation is a double-edged sword. Urban dolphins and new behaviors. Dolphins are intelligent problem solvers. In urbanized waters, some pods have developed new feeding strategies, taking advantage of discarded fish or easy prey near human activity. Young dolphins learn from observing adults, experimenting with new hunting techniques. Yet urban life is risky. Boat strikes, entanglement in fishing gear, and pollution are constant dangers. For every advantage gained, there is a potential cost. Adaptation requires learning, but mistakes in urban environments can be fatal. Intelligence allows dolphins to exploit these new environments, but it also exposes them to unprecedented threats. Urban dolphins live in a world where convenience comes with risk, and curiosity can mean injury or death. Survival now involves more than speed or social cohesion. It demands judgment, experience, and caution. The evolution of urban behavior. Some scientists refer to these dolphins as urban adapted. Their behavior changes in response to the presence of humans. They may approach boats cautiously, learn to feed opportunistically, or modify hunting techniques to exploit artificial structures. This adaptation is impressive, but it is also fragile. A pod accustomed to scavenging near humans may become dependent, losing natural hunting skills. They may also come into conflict with humans who perceive dolphins as nuisances or threats. Urban adaptation is a delicate balance between survival and danger. Adaptation is not guaranteed to succeed. Environmental changes are rapid, unpredictable, and often extreme. Dolphins must learn, unlearn, and relearn behaviors to keep up with the shifting world. Every decision, where to swim, when to hunt, and how to interact with humans, can have life or death consequences. Risks of adaptation. Adaptation comes with costs. Dolphins that enter urban areas or human-dominated waters face numerous hazards. Entanglement in nets is one of the most common threats, often leading to injury or death. Boat strikes can maim or kill individuals. Pollution contaminates both food and water, causing long-term health problems. Even behaviorally successful dolphins may face genetic consequences. Young dolphins that rely on human-provided food may fail to develop natural hunting skills. Over time, dependence on humans can reduce the resilience of populations and make them more vulnerable to environmental changes. Every adaptive behavior carries trade-offs. Learning to exploit urban environments increases survival in the short term, but can increase long-term vulnerability. Dolphins are constantly negotiating risk, a process that requires intelligence, vigilance, and social cooperation. Cultural transmission and learning. Dolphins rely heavily on cultural transmission. Knowledge passed from one generation to the next. Calves learn by observing adults, which areas are safe, how to hunt efficiently, and how to interact with humans or predators. In urban environments, this learning becomes more complex. Calves may observe adults exploiting human resources, avoiding boats, or navigating altered waterways. Each lesson shapes their survival skills and decision-making abilities. Social learning is critical because mistakes can have immediate, sometimes fatal consequences. Intelligence and culture allow dolphins to adapt rapidly, but cultural knowledge is fragile. A pod that loses experienced adults may struggle to teach the young how to survive. Adaptation is not just biological, it is social, cultural, and intergenerational. Survival depends on collective memory as much as individual skill. Conflict with humans. Adaptation can bring dolphins into conflict with humans. Feeding by humans can encourage dependency, disrupting natural hunting behavior. Boats, fishing gear, and coastal development can injure or kill dolphins. Some humans view dolphins as nuisances when they interfere with fishing operations or swim near crowded beaches. These conflicts highlight a harsh reality. Adaptation may increase survival in the short term, but can create new dangers. Dolphins navigating human environments walk a tightrope, balancing opportunity against risk in a world they did not design. Urban adapted dolphins are remarkable in their ingenuity, but the risks are constant. Intelligence cannot fully protect against propellers, pollution, or human error. Adaptation is necessary, but it is never without consequence. The future of dolphin adaptation. As the ocean continues to change, dolphins will face increasing pressure to adapt. Climate change shifts prey populations and alters water temperatures. Human activity continues to expand along coastlines and into open waters. Survival will demand innovation, cooperation, and resilience. Some populations will thrive, learning to exploit new resources and navigate altered habitats. Others may decline, unable to cope with rapid environmental changes or the hazards of human-dominated spaces. Adaptation is survival, but it is also an ongoing gamble, a daily negotiation with an unpredictable world. Dolphins must adapt to survive in rapidly changing oceans in human-dominated environments. Urban adapted dolphins demonstrate intelligence and innovation, but face new risks: boats, nets, pollution, and dependency. Cultural transmission ensures survival knowledge passes to calves, but loss of experienced adults can compromise adaptation. Human interactions amplify danger and stress, creating a delicate balance for survival. Adaptation is necessary for survival, but it is never without trade-offs or consequences. Segment 8: Threats from Humans. For dolphins, the ocean was once a vast, largely untamed expanse. Today, human activity dominates vast stretches of their habitat. While dolphins are intelligent, resilient, and adaptable, the threats posed by humans are relentless and multifaceted. From entanglement in fishing gear to chemical pollution, from habitat loss to climate change, every day brings new dangers that can make survival a struggle. Fishing nets and bycatch. Fishing is one of the greatest threats to dolphins worldwide. Nets, long lines, and trawlers are designed to catch fish, but dolphins often become unintended victims. This phenomenon is called bycatch. Dolphins can become entangled, struggle to breathe, and drown. Even experienced adults cannot always escape these human-made traps. Bycatch affects not only individuals, but entire populations. A single fishing operation can impact dozens of dolphins, disrupting pods, killing key adults, and leaving calves orphaned. Mothers may die while protecting their young, and calves may struggle to survive alone. Each loss reduces the genetic diversity and resilience of the population, threatening long-term survival. Pollution and contamination. Pollution is another invisible yet deadly threat. Plastics, chemicals, heavy metals, and oil spills contaminate the water, poisoning both dolphins and the fish they eat. Dolphins are apex predators, which means toxins accumulate in their bodies over time. Chemical contamination can weaken immune systems, reduce fertility, and impair brain function. Young dolphins are particularly vulnerable. Exposure to pollutants during early development can have lifelong consequences, affecting hunting, social behavior, and reproduction. Pollution also disrupts habitats. Coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds provide feeding grounds and shelter. When these areas are degraded, dolphins must travel further for food, increasing energy expenditure and exposure to predators. The ocean is no longer just a home. It is a hazardous landscape shaped by human impact. Habitat loss and coastal development. Coastal development is shrinking dolphin habitats. Marinas, ports, resorts, and industrial zones replace natural bays and estuaries. Dolphins that once relied on shallow waters for feeding and breeding are now forced into open, riskier waters. Habitat loss increases competition for resources, forces pods into conflict with humans, and exposes young dolphins to predators. Even intelligent and adaptable dolphins struggle to cope when their homes disappear or become toxic. Some dolphins attempt to adapt, moving closer to urban areas or relying on human-provided food. But these adaptations carry risks: dependency, injury, or conflict. In the ocean, there is no safety net. Habitat loss is not just inconvenient, it can be deadly. Noise pollution and sonar. Noise pollution from ships, sonar, and industrial activity adds another layer of danger. Dolphins rely on sound for communication, navigation, and hunting. When humans introduce loud, persistent noise, dolphins can become disoriented, fail to find prey, or separate from pods. Sonar can even cause physical harm, leading to hearing damage or internal injuries in sensitive species. Dolphins are intelligent, but their reliance on sound makes them uniquely vulnerable to our noisy world. Climate change and changing oceans. Climate change is reshaping the oceans. Rising water temperatures, shifting currents, and acidification are altering prey distribution and availability. Dolphins may need to migrate farther, expend more energy, and navigate unfamiliar habitats to find food. Extreme weather events like storms and hurricanes increase the risk of injury and disrupt social cohesion. For calves, exposure to harsh conditions without the guidance of experienced adults can be fatal. Climate change magnifies every other challenge dolphins face, from hunting to social learning to reproduction, direct human conflict. Sometimes humans directly harm dolphins intentionally or accidentally. Hunting, capture for entertainment, and harassment by boats or swimmers can injure or kill individuals. Even well-meaning interactions like feeding can cause long-term harm by altering natural behavior and creating dependency. Pods that interact too closely with humans risk entanglement, collisions, or social disruption. Adaptation is possible, but every interaction carries risk. In the wild, curiosity can be deadly. Cumulative impact on dolphin populations. The cumulative impact of human threats is staggering. Fishing, pollution, habitat loss, noise, climate change, and direct conflict converge to create a world where survival is increasingly difficult. Even the most intelligent, adaptable dolphins face a daily struggle against these pressures. Populations decline, pods fragment, and social learning is disrupted. Young dolphins may fail to learn essential skills, mothers may be lost, and the chain of survival is weakened. The threats we pose are invisible to most humans, but for dolphins they are immediate, tangible, and often fatal. Hope and conservation efforts. Despite the threats, there is hope. Conservation efforts, marine protected areas, rescue operations, and sustainable fishing practices can help mitigate human impact. By reducing pollution, controlling boat traffic, and protecting habitats, we can give dolphins a fighting chance. Education and awareness are critical. Humans can learn to coexist with dolphins rather than dominate or endanger them. Every small action, avoiding litter, reducing noise, supporting conservation, helps protect these intelligent, social, and resilient creatures. Humans are the greatest modern threat to dolphins. Fishing gear, bycatch, pollution, habitat loss, and noise disrupt survival. Climate change adds new environmental pressures. Direct conflict and interference alter natural behavior and social structures. Conservation, awareness, and responsible behavior are crucial for dolphin survival. Segment 9. The Fragile Future. The ocean is a vast and beautiful world, home to some of the planet's most intelligent and social creatures. Dolphins have survived for millions of years, adapting to countless natural challenges. But the future is uncertain. Human activity, climate change, and environmental degradation threaten to reshape their world faster than evolution can keep up. For dolphins, every choice we make matters. Their survival depends on the decisions we make today, about fishing practices, pollution control, habitat protection, and awareness of the fragile balance of marine life. The delicate balance of ocean ecosystems. Oceans are complex, interconnected ecosystems. Dolphins rely on healthy fish populations, clean waters, and intact habitats for survival. Every disruption, overfishing, habitat destruction, pollution, creates ripple effects. Prey populations decline, habitats become inhospitable, and dolphins face increasing difficulty finding food and shelter. Unlike humans, dolphins cannot adapt instantly to sudden changes. Their intelligence and social skills can only go so far against the scale of human impact. The balance is delicate, and the consequences of disruption are real and measurable. Protecting dolphins means protecting the oceans. Protecting the oceans means protecting ourselves. The time to act is now. If we fail to act, future generations may only know dolphins from videos and photographs, never witnessing the brilliance of their intelligence, the depth of their social bonds, or the beauty of their leaps across the waves. The ocean is fragile and interconnected. Dolphins rely on healthy ecosystems for survival. Human threats, pollution, fishing, habitat loss, and climate change create unprecedented challenges. Conservation, marine protection, and responsible The fragile nature of this balance means that even small human actions can have outsized effects. Every net left unattended, every chemical spill, every piece of plastic waste adds stress to dolphin populations. In the wild, survival is a daily challenge, and human interference only amplifies that struggle. The importance of conservation efforts. Conservation is no longer optional, it is essential. Marine protected areas, responsible fishing regulations, and pollution control can give dolphins the breathing space they need to survive. Scientists and conservationists work tirelessly to monitor populations, rehabilitate injured dolphins, and educate the public on the importance of ocean stewardship. Protected areas allow dolphins to feed, breed, and socialize with reduced human interference. They provide safe havens where pods can maintain their social structures and young dolphins can learn essential survival skills. Without these sanctuaries, the challenges dolphins face in the modern ocean would become insurmountable. Conservation is not just about protecting dolphins, it is about preserving entire ecosystems. Healthy oceans support not only dolphins, but countless other species, including humans. By ensuring the survival of dolphins, we safeguard the vitality of the oceans themselves. Climate change and future adaptation. Climate change presents one of the greatest long-term challenges. Rising water temperatures, acidification, and altered currents affect prey availability, migration patterns, and habitat suitability. Dolphins may need to travel farther to find food, expend more energy navigating altered habitats, and adjust social behaviors to cope with changing conditions. While dolphins are intelligent and adaptable, the pace of change is unprecedented. Natural adaptation may not keep up with the rapid transformations caused by human activity. Survival may require unprecedented levels of learning, cooperation, and resilience. The future depends on our ability to mitigate climate change, reducing carbon emissions, protecting marine environments, and supporting sustainable practices are critical steps to give dolphins a fighting chance in a rapidly changing world. The role of human awareness. Humans play a decisive role in shaping the future of dolphins. Awareness and responsible behavior can make a real difference. Avoiding litter, reducing noise pollution, following sustainable fishing practices, and supporting marine conservation efforts are ways we can protect dolphins and their habitats. Education is key. Understanding the complexity of dolphin life, the endless swim, social bonds, intelligence, and vulnerabilities, creates empathy and motivates action. Every person who learns about these challenges can contribute to a safer ocean for dolphins and other marine life. The future of dolphins is fragile, but it is not hopeless. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the compassion to make a difference. Every choice we make affects their survival, from local fishing practices to global climate policies. Protecting dolphins means protecting the oceans. Protecting the oceans means protecting ourselves. The time to act is now. If we fail to act, future generations may only know dolphins from videos and photographs, never witnessing the brilliance of their intelligence, the depth of their social bonds, or the beauty of their leaps across the waves. The ocean is fragile and interconnected. Dolphins rely on healthy ecosystems for survival. Human threats, pollution, fishing, habitat loss, and climate change create unprecedented challenges. Conservation, marine protection, and responsible human behavior are essential to preserve dolphin populations. Climate change requires global action to give dolphins a chance to adapt. Awareness, education, and proactive measures can shape a future where dolphins continue to thrive. From birth, dolphins face a life of constant challenges. Predators, disease, environmental change, and human interference shape every moment of their existence. Social bonds, family networks, and intelligence offer strength, but even these are tested by the relentless realities of the ocean. For dolphins, life is both extraordinary and fragile. Their intelligence, playfulness, and complex emotions make them one of the most fascinating creatures on Earth. Yet these same qualities expose them to suffering in ways many humans rarely consider. The lessons of dolphin life. Dolphins teach us about resilience, adaptation, and the importance of community. Their lives remind us that survival is never guaranteed, and that intelligence alone does not protect against the harsh realities of the world. From family bonds to the endless swim, from urban adaptation to human threats, dolphins navigate a delicate balance every day. They are survivors, but survival comes at a cost. Human responsibility. Humans have a profound impact on the ocean, for better or worse. Dolphins now face threats they did not evolve to handle: fishing gear, pollution, climate change, and habitat loss. But we also have the power to protect them. Conservation, sustainable practices, education, and awareness can give dolphins the chance to thrive. Every choice matters: what we consume, how we treat the ocean, and how we coexist with wildlife. Protecting dolphins is more than saving a single species. It is about preserving the health of the oceans themselves, and by extension, the future of our planet. A reflection on fragility and wonder. The life of a dolphin is extraordinary, yet precarious. Their world is filled with beauty, intelligence, and play, but also danger, struggle, and heartbreak. They are creatures of both joy and sorrow, resilience and vulnerability. As we look to the future, it is our responsibility to ensure that dolphins continue to leap, play, and survive in oceans that remain wild, vibrant, and safe. The story of dolphins is a story of survival, adaptation, and fragility. It is a story that asks us to pay attention, to act responsibly, and to care for the oceans that sustain all life. Every piece of plastic avoided, every fishery regulated, every marine protected area enforced is a step toward a safer world for dolphins. And in protecting them, we protect the intricate, delicate web of life that connects all of us. Dolphins are more than icons of joy and intelligence. They are reminders of the delicate balance of nature and of our duty to safeguard the oceans. Their survival depends on us. Their leaps across the waves are a testament to resilience and a call for action. The future is fragile, but together we can make it brighter.